The biggest misconception for next phase is that you need to get your BiS list, because most of these BiS lists are completely 252 item level gear. It's fully stacked with 252 item level gear from some of the hardest hard modes, where Algalon, especially if you're a caster, Melee have it a little bit easier, but there's still some hard modes that you need gear from. So today we're going to talk about what you can do to not go after that loot. Starting with Death Knights is what we're going to start with today. So this is what you're like pretty much aiming for in your full BiS gear. You're aiming for 252. You've got the Warhelm, you've got the necklace, you've got the belt here, the leggings, which are very contested, and Frosty K maybe might not be prioed on these. This ring that everyone and their mom wants from Yogg-Saron hard mode. Again, this is like so many things are like hard mode loot that are going to be harder for you to acquire. So if we're looking at alternatives, there's literally gear you can get, like full sets you can get that are relatively close. 99% of Frosty Ks, and actually everyone get your tier gear first. But get your tier gear first. Go for the 4 set and do it this way. I would suggest doing it this way is go for the shoulders and the legs and trying to get Warhelm. It's Thorum hard mode. This is the easiest hard mode. So this is like the one piece that's like relative, like the closest one I would suggest is getting Warhelm, and then changing it up and going for your tier sets. Because look at the tier set. If you go to Conqueror and you go to Conqueror, it's barely a DPS difference to have the offset pieces, like extremely small. And this is essentially going to be your BiS, right? Is to get 4-piece. You probably want the legs, but the legs, again, like I was saying, are very contested, and they're probably they're significantly bigger for Unholy. Other classes want them too, but we don't talk about those other classes. One thing that's good for Frosty Ks in general, but also for all Death Knights, is that there's a ton of weapons. There is like a metric F ton of weapons in this raid. Some are fast. Obviously, you're not going to be going for a fast weapon as a Frosty K, but there is a ton of weapons, and every weapon that drops is a weapon upgrade for you, even if it might be a tank weapon. Now you have that discussion within your guild, but it's very easy to get a lot of weapons that are really good. Sarthe is super fast, but you also have Volmir, right? Thorum normal 25. It's like there's a lot of weapons that can be upgrades for you. You're using 213 eye level weapons. Everything is an upgrade, and Frosty K's scale really well with weapon damage, obviously, especially with like Sigil of Awareness, kind of double dipping with Obliterate and not having like a fall off on offhand and stuff. Your boots are currently coming from Algalon Sabatons of the Lifeless Knight, and you could actually just not upgrade your boots from what you have right now. Melancholy Sabatons are straight up, you can use these for a long time. Let me switch this over. Also, a misconception that I had actually was that you would be going Frost Unholy because it is slightly higher single target DPS, but it doesn't help you as much as having attack power and crit and stuff for switching targets, for cleave, and also it doesn't take into account if you're using the desync rotation, which brings you back up to that DPS differential. So you're probably going to stay Frost Blood most of this phase, if not all of this phase. Just know that I've spoken before about you can finally go Frost Unholy. I was wrong, I'm sorry. It's very slight. So the Obliterate damage, so 4 set from Conquerors is insane, right? Your 4 set is giving you 20% extra damage to Obliterate per disease. So this is crazy powerful. The only reason you can slightly eke it out with the offset pieces purely because of the item level buffs of the offset pieces, but your set bonus is absolutely insane. The issue with going for plated runations, the leggings, is that you're just gonna have to fight for them. It's often easy boss, but you shouldn't take them before any of your Unholies. One thing that's easy to get to is just get this, where we have shoulder pads of the Celestial Watch. Get these from 10-man Algalon and hold on to them if you can, right? Get these early and hold on to them for when you end up breaking your 4 set. Your most contested items are probably going to be the ring and the legs. Warhelm is contested, but it's very easy. Thorum's very easy, so everybody can get it. And now we have this belt, which is actually relatively hard. We don't want everyone going for pure hard mode loot. Obviously, every boss only drops 1 hard mode item if you're killing it, and you have to contest against the whole rest of the raid, and it needs to drop the item you want. So a realistic Frost BiS is changing things up, getting some extra expertise with Belt of the Titans, but you have to change expertise elsewhere, right? Holding on to Melancholy Sabatons, you're using 4 set. Pretty easy. Your drape doesn't change. You got Drape of the Faceless General. This is General Vesax. should be easy for you to get, right? This shouldn't be too hard for you to get. Seal of the Betrayed King is like leaps and bounds ahead of everything. Yogg hard mode, and you have to win it over everyone else. Sif's Promise, also very strong. This is obviously from Algalon, so you might not get the Signet Ring, so you could easily go with some external rings like these two. Blade Barrier Signet, Crazed Construct, or Blade Barrier Signet, you can get Sifs. Spike Battleguard Choker, literally Conquest. Hodir hard mode is probably one of the harder hard modes that most guilds will skip the first week. And you can literally sit there chilling with your Melancholy Sabatons until you can get Lifeless Knight. You really can. I actually can check to see if Battle Lords are better, but it's just an easy one to like not have to worry too much about your loot prio for, is like these are very, very solid. As for legs, obviously, like the plated leggings of Ruination, but again, your Unholy DKs are giga looking at getting those. It's a huge item for Unholy. Technically, also for like Ret Paladins. Just figure out a way to get 4-set. You can also pick up items, obviously, in 10-man. You're going to be running 10-mans. Those are going to be easy. There's also a very easy bracer option, like a very solid bracer option with Bitter Cold arm guards. So moving down from armbands of Bedlam, which again are a very big item. They're more of an item for Unholy DKs. Yogg is an easier hard mode, so like eventually you will be getting Seal of the Betrayed King. This thing is crazy. It's so good. You're finally getting like good strength rings, like that are like 84 strength on it is with 16 strength. It's 100 strength. But Algalon, I would say, will take guilds a lot longer. Your average guild a lot longer, and that's kind of what we're thinking about today. Instead of going for your full BiS, is Algalon will take guilds a lot longer. Now, if we switch over and look at kind of Unholy DKs, because we're kind of semi-blasting through this, I don't want this to be like aggressively long. In your BiS list, you have Comet's Trail. I actually didn't know this, but Comet's Trail still is technically a bigger upgrade for Unholy DKs. Now that we can sim things with the nerfed Gary, still is technically a bigger upgrade for Unholy DKs than other classes, every other class in a single target situation. You're probably not gonna get prio on Comet's Trail. Your Enhanced Shaman's like looking at this thing so juicy. Rogues are looking at it so juicy. Comet's Trail is a hard one to go after. You have a very solid option in just running Mark of Norganon. Do know now you have a ton of expertise. If you're like looking at, and that's why you're switching your weapon instead of using 2 expertise weapons, which is what you were gonna do, which is double Crest of Insanity. Now it's easier for you. You get 2 separate weapons, Void Saber as your offhand. These are both from 10-mans. Weapons, again, there's a ton of weapon upgrades. Like a ton of weapon upgrades for Death Knights in this raid. So take every upgrade you can. Take them all. For Unholy DKs, there's a lot of items that are similar between Unholy DKs as well as the Frost DKs, but your 4-set is a lot smaller for you because you don't get Scourge Strike. It does nothing, right? You literally don't Scourge Strike. 4-set is huge for Frost DKs and puts them at pretty much essentially you can rock that the entire phase and like be happy and move into TOGC. Things that are really nice for you are obviously the leggings, the ring, and the bracers, but we're looking at realistic BiS where people aren't doing all of the hard modes. So we're gonna switch out a ton of items. You'll notice I did not switch out these leggings. It's hard mode Flame Leviathan. Guild's first week, ignore this fight. If you are like a guild that just wants to get through the raid, it is a huge time sink and a bait. It's very easy. You absolutely can kill it, but most people have this tendency when they're not playing their own character to not understand what's going on in the game. It's like a restart in your brain. It just happens. Like it just does, right? Even if you try to explain what someone's role is, it'll just take a lot of time for them to understand what they should be doing. And so then it's just a time sink when you might need to spend your time later clearing the whole raid. As for weapons, we've still got the same ones. These are from 10-man. If you're going into 10-man as a Death Knight, you're probably the only Death Knight in there. You might even want to run the 10-man as a Frost DK because it's just friendly raid to switch to Frost, by the way. The Choker, same thing. This is badges, slurp up shoulders and chest. As a side item for your helm, you can go with Iron Riveted War Helm, awesome helm, and then you could make like a exchange with your Frost DKs or whoever else that they get War Helm of the Champion right now, and you get Iron Riveted because you get plated leggings and potentially the bracers. Gauntlets don't change. This is gonna be slurped up, kill Freya, easy boss. This is from 10-man Algalon, which I want to say is easier, but realistically it might be hard. Thinking about it, it might be hard for a lot of people to clear. You could chill with Girdle of Chivalry for a while. Chivalry, you could chill with chivalry. As for the cloak, easy drop, Ignis, slurp. Bracers, similar situation. These bracers are easier to get because you're no longer looking at getting your hard mode Mimron bracers. Realistically, a lot of gear can substitute out in your 10 mans, right? You can run a ton of 10 mans and substitute a lot of loot. This ring is going to be, again, a very big ring, but all of the rest of the rings are actually like relatively close. And just take the ones that are all upgrades. Siv's Promise, also a great ring. As for boots, just slurping up some General Vessex boots. Hit rating is nice. You have to check what your hit is, but it's just easy to get until you get able to kill Algalon. For cleave, you can go with your PvP sigils, get the attack power and cleave it up. But then for most situations, you're just going with this sigil, the Vengeful Heart. It is very easy to get, right? Like you just need to drop and give it to your Unholy DKs. It's like the easiest boss, right? You're not doing hard mode of XT, which is also a giga bait if you're doing hard mode first week, because I don't know many guilds that are going to do that yet. They have not confirmed that the Unholy DK change will go live, but I would highly anticipate it will go live. You have a ton of options for weapons. Things shouldn't be terrible. 10 man, 10 man, 10 man, 10 man. Easy. 25 normal. 25 hard mode. You're probably not going to see Sarthe week 1 because most people are going to skip Sarthe. Also, no, Commons Trail is your BiS, but you're probably using Mark and Norgan 999 on. Okay. As for rings, you have a lot of options. Again, all from 25 man, but you have Flame Leviathan ring. You have Siv's Promise from Thorum, which is super easy. Slurp this up. You have Blade Bearer's Signet, which will just drop. Also, slurp this up. Don't be that guy. You can also get this chest piece. It seems it's very close in different situations. And there's actually a ton of cloak options and a very easy one, like a super easy Ignis 10-man cloak. It's crazy because right now I feel like we have such mediocre cloaks. Every cloak is like a agility cloak. They have a lot of attack power, but it's all agility cloaks. We finally get some good strength options. So just know, and it's also Drape of the Deadly Foe has been like the hardest thing to get unless you already have it. It's the end of the phase, but why is this the hardest item in the game to get? There you have it, guys. That was a realistic BiS list for both Frost and Unholy DKs. All of the options that you want to kind of aim to get first so that you can fully get geared up and get a ton of actual DPS gain moving into this phase. Then you can kind of target the other hard mode items as soon as your guild is clearing them, as well as soon as it kind of opens up for you to get them. Thanks for watching, guys, and there's going to be more of these for other classes soon, a little bit more organized so I'm not so loud and kind of discombobulated with my thoughts. And lastly, if you like the content towards Ulduar, make sure, of course, to like and subscribe. Let me know if you want me to do realistic BiS lists for any other classes, as well as if you do actually want to support the channel, you can join the channel memberships. This massively helps me out, as well as I have videos and guides coming out early there so that you can get kind of early access to a lot of things as we move forward into Ulduar. I'll see you guys all on the next one, and good luck out there.